Friends, I'm CV Sharma back with another video on scalars and vectors. And it's actually I will it's actually this video is about the summary of the entire scalars and vectors. I'll just give the glimpse of everything. And actually the first 10 slides I have planned it as like 3 lectures. The 10 slides, the initial 10 slides, I planned it as like 3 lectures, but I'm combining all the 3 lectures into one. The 3 lectures I am planning and coupling into one single lecture. Okay, that is what I am doing now. So in the next video, you will see like it will be like a 4th lecture actually. But for this, don't worry that don't feel that you have lost 3 lectures. All the 3 lectures I am combining into one single lecture with the summary of the vectors. So this is the one. So the first 10 slides is like 3 lectures. All the 3 I am coupling into one single lecture. So that is one I want to tell you initially. So for this notes, you can always mail me at physics10@gmail.com, physics102021. This is the email address, physics102021@gmail.com. You can mail me at this and you can get the notes. Absolutely no issue. So here the scalars and vectors, this is the chapter, and then physical quantities, they are divided into 2 types. One is scalars and vectors. That is the first part. And now move on to the next slide. What are scalars? Scalars are those physical quantities which have only magnitude but no direction. All of you know all these things, I hope. Scalars are those physical quantities which have only magnitude but no direction. So what are the examples of scalars? Scalars are density, time, temperature, energy, mass, distance, speed, etc. These are scalars. So they have only magnitude, but they have no direction. Okay, they don't have any direction. And those are called scalars. Okay, now let us move on further. Vectors. So what are vectors basically? Vectors are those physical quantities which have both magnitude and direction and obey the vector's laws of addition. They obey the vector laws of addition. So what are the examples of vectors? So one is displacement, velocity, acceleration, force. All these things are vectors. So all these things, they have direction. So what are vectors basically? Once again, I'll read. Vectors are those physical quantities which have both magnitude as well as direction and obey the vector laws of addition. This is very, very important. A vector must obey the vector laws of addition. Otherwise, it will not be a vector, although it has both magnitude as well as direction. So one of the best examples here for that to say the statement is the current. So for example, if you consider current has both magnitude as well as direction, but it is not a vector. The reason being it is a scalar quantity because it does not obey the vector law of addition. So current, it has, the current will flow from higher potential to lower potential. High potential to low potential, it will flow. That is the direction. But the thing is that even though the quantity of current is expressed in amps, quantity of current is expressed in amps, quantity of current is expressed in amps, and you know that it will flow from higher potential to lower potential. That shows the direction. Even though it has the qualities that has magnitude as well as direction, it is not a vector. The reason being it does not obey the vector laws of addition. So these are the things which you have to know. very important. And how do we represent a vector? So representation of a vector. So geometrically, a vector is represented by a directed line segment, that is by the line to which a direction has been assigned with an arrowhead in the direction of the vector and whose length is proportional to the magnitude of the vector. So once again, I'll read. Geometrically, a vector is represented by the directed line segment, that is by a line to which a direction has been assigned with an arrow. So it is simply, if you have a point A and this is the point B, A to B is the directed line segment. If you put an arrow like this, that's the arrowhead, it shows the direction. So simply as that. That is what they are representing here. And the arrowhead in the direction of the vector and whose length is proportional to the magnitude of vector. This length of this directed line segment is proportional to the magnitude of the vector. How much is the vector quantity that this length is proportional to it. To represent a vector geometrically, a line is drawn parallel to the direction of the vector and put an arrow on the line along the direction of the vector. Now this directed line segment, namely OP, as shown in the figure 1.10, represents the vector in magnitude and direction. It is written as OP bar, and O is called the initial point of the vector and P is called the terminal point or final point, you can say, on it. The vector OP bar is also written as R bar, that is also given as OP bar equal to R bar. So I'll summarize this a little bit, and here we see, so what actually we do is like we have normally we draw the coordinates. Okay, this is the axis and here is the origin and here is the point P, and now O to P, when you direct from O to P, this is the direction in which it will be given. This is called directed line segment. O is the initial point and P is the final point. O is the initial point, and P is the final point. So the OP bar is nothing but your R bar, that is the required vector. This is how we write. But what is this P? The P is a point which has, if I consider like two dimensions, this is X and Y. If I consider like two dimensions, P will have some coordinates like X0, Y0. And now this OP bar is nothing but X0 I cap plus Y0 J cap. So that's it. This is how you represent the vector. I'll express what is this I cap and J cap. I cap is the unit movement in the X direction, and J cap is the unit movement in one unit movement in the Y direction. One unit movement in the X direction is I cap. One unit movement in Y direction is J cap. One unit movement in Z direction is K cap. So this is what you have to understand. So you have negative X, negative Y, negative Z movements also. Yes, of course, I'll explain that little bit once we complete this slides. I'll explain to that. So the next part is that to represent a physical quantity in vector form, we put an arrow above the symbol of the physical quantity. So let us say if it is like R bar, this is how we write. To distinguish a quantity scalar or a vector, this is how we write. If I simply write R, that's a scalar. If I put a bar like this, that is a vector. So this is what is being told. So for example, velocity is denoted by V, but in vector form, it is denoted as V bar, which is read as velocity vector. Magnitude of the vector is the absolute value indicated by mod V bar, modulus of the velocity vector. So that is given here. Now, the analytical method. What is this analytical method? In this method, vector is represented in terms of a unit vector I, J, K, I bar, J bar, K bar, which we'll see in detail later on. So that is what this analytical method. And now, what are different types of vectors? There are different types of vectors, like vectors. Two or more than two vectors having the same sense of direction are called like vectors, or otherwise it is called unlike vectors. For example, for example, let a body A is moving towards east and another body B is also moving in the same direction towards east. Then these two velocity vectors are called like vectors. Okay, that is as simple as that. If A is moving like this towards east and B is also moving towards the same direction, this is the vector A bar and this is the vector B bar. Both are moving in the same direction, then you can say they are like vectors. The next one, collinear or parallel vectors. Now, what are the collinear or parallel vectors? So, vectors having the same line of action or having the lines of action parallel to the same line are called collinear vectors. They may have the same sense or opposite sense of direction. They are called collinear vectors. So if two vectors are like this, they are collinear. Okay, vectors having same line of action. So these are parallel lines. They should have the same line of action. That means it's like this. So this is A bar and B bar. They have same line of action in the same direction. And A bar and B bar, it is like this. If you have something like this, these are parallel vectors. This is example of parallel vectors. And the vectors having the same line of action, they are called collinear vectors. Collinear vectors. This is called collinear vectors. Okay. Vectors having the same line of action or having the lines of action parallel to the same line are called collinear vectors. So these are parallel, or you can say collinear vectors. Okay. They may have the same sense or opposite sense of direction, same sense of direction as well as opposite sense of direction. So they are called collinear vectors. Now, coplanar vectors. What are these coplanar vectors? Vectors are said to be coplanar if they lie in the same plane or they are parallel to the same plane. Otherwise, they are said to be non-coplanar vectors. So vectors in the parallel planes can be coplanar vectors. That's how you can say this. So the vectors which are lying in the same plane. So simply vectors in the same plane. Same plane. They are called coplanar vectors. Or if you have a plane and you have a parallel plane to that, and whatever the number of vectors here, the same number of vectors you can have here. Of course, infinite vectors you can draw in the plane. And you can always find a parallel vector in this plane. For this vector, you can find a parallel vector in this plane. And so it's possible if you have the parallel planes. So that's how you can represent the coplanar vectors. That is the idea behind it. And now, further, zero vector or a null vector. Vectors having zero magnitude are called zero or null vectors. It is denoted by O bar. In case of zero vector, its initial and final point coincide in its direction and is indeterminate. So you cannot define the direction of the zero vector. In the case of in case initial and terminal points will coincide. That's what happens. O bar, A bar, these are called zero vectors. You can pause the video in between and then make a note of this, what I'm giving. And later after this, I'll summarize a little bit about the vectors. And now examples, the velocity vector is a velocity vector of a stationary particle, and the acceleration vector of an object moving with the uniform velocity are zero vectors, or you can say null vectors. Null vector direction you cannot specify because it is indeterminate. Because the initial and final points, if they coincide, then you call it as a zero vector. So I'll write again, initial and final points coincide. Then you can say they are null vectors. null vectors or zero vectors. So this is how we can say. Now let us move on to the next one. Next slide. What is a unit vector? So unit vector is something like this. A unit vector is a vector of unit magnitude and points in particular direction. It is used to specify the direction only. Unit vector is represented by putting a cap over the quantity. The unit vector in the direction of f bar is denoted by f and is defined as f cap, that is equal to f bar divided by mod f bar. F bar happens to be mod f bar times f cap. So like this you can find. I'll explain what are these things once again. Next, to represent any value of force in the direction, we can use this unit vector. Like lambda is the magnitude of the force and multiply lambda with f cap. It will give us force along the direction of f. So f bar is equal to lambda into f, where lambda happens to be the magnitude of the vector. Okay. So I'll explain these things with an example. The next one happens to be negative of a vector. At this point, I'll stop the slides and then I will move on to summarize this topic. Negative of a vector, the vector whose magnitude is same that of a bar, but the direction is opposite to that of a bar is called a negative of the vector a bar, and it's written as minus a bar. A bar is this way, b bar is equal to minus a bar is the opposite direction. So at this point, this is what I planned, the first 3 lectures coupled together in these 10 slides. Now I'll summarize what is what in a bit. Okay, so I will take the board. This a bar is this vector and b bar is equal to minus a bar. If I write like this, that is the negative of the vector. Now here, this is the slide, notes slide, and then I will explain the things. What are the essential things you have to learn in the vectors? So that is the things I will explain here. What are the essential things in the vectors which you have to learn? So the first thing is that express these things in the coordinate axis first of all. So this is the x and y axis. Okay, this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. Suppose I mark a point, like for example, I mark a point 2, 3. How do I mark the point? So let us say this is origin, 0, 0. I mark the point 2, 3 by doing like this. I had to move first in the x direction about 2 units. Okay, 2 units, and I reach the point 2, 0. And after that, I need to move in the y direction 3 units. So here I'll draw like this. Okay. So in the y direction, if I move 3 units, I'm not drawing to the scale to understand this. I hope you understand. And then y direction 3 units. 3 units I move in the y direction. And 2 units I move in the x direction. Now I reach this point. And now similarly, this point I can reach by doing like this also. Like I move 3 units in the y direction, like this. 3 units in y direction I move. And 2 units I move in the x direction. 2 units I move in the x direction. Like this also I can do. In the process, I reach the point in these 2 ways. Now in the process, I have completed a rectangle. Okay. So while reaching the point in these 2 paths, I have completed a rectangle. So hence I can tell that this is a rectangular coordinate system. This is the reason why. This is why we say that this is rectangular coordinate system. rectangular coordinate system. This is why we tell that this is a rectangular coordinate system. Okay, I hope you got this. Now, how do I tell that I am moving 2 units in the x-axis? So for example, so the idea is like this. So I hope you got this. Now I will remove this, what I have written. You can pause the video and then note the things. So I represent here. So the idea is very simple. Each 1 unit movement in x direction. Is I cap. That means is represented as I cap. That means what is the magnitude of I cap? I cap magnitude is 1. So 1 unit movement in the x direction, to represent it, we'll write I cap. So 2 unit movement in the x direction is 2 I cap. Similarly, each 1 unit movement in y direction, 1 unit movement in y direction, is j cap. 1 unit movement in y direction is j cap. So if you have moved 3 units in y direction, that is 3 j cap. So if you combine these movements, you are reaching this point 2, 3, right? So we combine these two. So we write it as 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. So that's the vector representation of this point. Let us make it as point P. And if I join O to P, so finally what I did is from here to here I moved, and from here to here. Finally what I did is from O to P I have moved. So this movement is given by the vector 2 I cap plus 3 j cap. So that is the idea of the vectors. And now this 2, 3 point is having a special name called position vector. So for example, I will tell you, suppose I have a point 5, 4. It can be written as 5 I cap plus 4 j cap. So that's the position vector of this point. And similarly, if I have a point -3, -5, it can be written as -3 I cap minus 5 j cap. I hope it is very, very simple for you to do this. Suppose I have a point 2, -3. I can write it as 2 I cap minus 3 j cap. Okay, this is for this is 2D motion, 2-dimensional motion, only where x and y axis are involved for 2D motion. Okay. Now, what if I have z axis also? Suppose I have a scenario like this, like this is z, and this is x, and this is y. Okay. So this is my z, this is my x, and this is my y. 1 unit movement in x-axis is I cap, 1 unit movement in y-axis is j cap, 1 unit movement in z-axis is k cap. Okay. So we have the negative x movement. Negative x movement is denoted by minus I cap. Very simple. Negative y movement in y direction is given by minus j cap. Negative z movement in z direction is given by in the negative z direction. Okay. This is called negative movement in z direction, that is minus k cap. So as per that, if I have a point 2, 3, -5, suppose, it means that it is, if I move 2 units in positive x direction and 3 units in the positive y direction and 5 units in the negative z direction, then I reach this point. That's what it means. So that can be done by mutually perpendicular movements, like you have to draw this the x movement, and then this is the positive x movement, positive y movement and negative z movement. It is downwards like this. So if you do like this, then you reach this point 2 comma 3 comma minus 5. And now the position vector is nothing but you have to connect this thing from origin. You connect the point from origin. That's what is a position vector. Now that is the idea, basic idea. And now there are so let us say the vector AB bar. I want to represent a vector AB bar. So that AB bar can be a vector direction can be represented from the position vectors. So that can be done like this. So the basic idea about writing a vector is like this, but it can be done by using the triangle of vectors. I explained that in short. So let us say this is a point A and point B. And now I join this A like this, and I join B like this. This is my A. And I join B like this. And now this is my AB bar. So this figure you see in any textbook, right? This is my AB bar. And I want to find what is the AB bar direction. To know that, first thing I need to know is what is the position vector of A. That means the coordinates of A simply. Let us say they are x1, y1. Two-dimensional situation I'm taking, and B is x2, y2. And now if I write x2, y2, the position vector of B is x2 I cap plus y2 j cap, as simple as that. And the position vector of A is x1 I cap plus y1 j cap. This is what you have. And now AB bar can be written as the final minus initial point. Final position vector is OB bar. That is the final point. B is the final point. A to B I'm reaching. OB bar minus OA bar. Like this one can remember. This is very simple. Final position vector minus initial position vector. Initial position vector. So this is the first part you have to know. So simply you can write it as you can subtract this. You can subtract this from this. So that is AB bar can be written as x2. It's like subtracting this the corresponding points like x2 minus x1. You get I cap plus y2 minus y1 j cap. You can do like this. This is the first part. This is very easy. And then if you have the k also, then you get z2 minus z1 k cap. And these coefficients of I cap, j cap, k cap, the coefficients of I cap, j cap, k cap, they are called direction ratios. Of course, direction ratios, you can write this like you can write x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1. These are called direction ratios simply. But since we are calling it as ratio, generally, if at all, if I write x2 minus x1, y2 minus y1, z2 minus z1, if I'm writing a ratio, generally the greatest common divisor of these three things, let us say this is L, this is M, this is N. The great GCD of L, M, N gets cancelled out. Okay, gets cancelled out. So, and then you get the ratio, the required ratio you get. GCD of LMN will cancel out. If at all the GCD, greatest common divisor of LMN, that remains as 1, that means all these three things are co-primes, then it stays as it is. Okay. So those are called direction ratios. So for example, I give you one example. Let us say A bar, the position vector of A bar is like 2I cap plus 3J cap plus let us say like 7K cap. This is one vector. And you have OB bar the second vector is like 6i cap plus 9j cap plus 14k cap. Let us say these two are the vectors. And now I want to find what is AB bar. AB bar is OB bar minus OA bar. OB bar minus OA bar. Like this you have to do. I'm showing with an example. So simply I minus I. So OB bar is 6i minus 2i. So 6 minus 2 into I. X2 minus X1 into I. Plus Y2 minus Y1 into J. That is 9 minus 3 into J. 9 minus 3 into J. And 14 minus 7 into K. As simple as 14 minus 7 into K. Like this you can do. And now after this you get 4i cap plus 9 minus 3, 6j cap plus 14 minus 7, that is 7k cap. And now if I ask you what are the DRs, what are the direction ratios, then simply the coefficients 4, 6, 7. These are the DRs 4, 6, 7. This ratio remains as this because as you know the greatest common divisor of 4, 6, 7 is 1. So they are co-parents to each other. So 4, 6, 7 are the direction ratios. So I hope you understand this is how you do that. So it's very, very simple. This is how you find the vectors. This is one thing we see in the vectors. These things are discussed in the next videos also. So if you have any doubts, you can reckon back to me. The next part, what we see is called triangle law of vectors. Triangle law. So I will tell you that. And prior to that, I want to tell you what is the magnitude of a vector. So let us say that a point P is there. And now this is origin 0, 0. I am taking only 2 dimensions to explain this first. And then we can extend this idea to 3 dimensions. Not an issue. And now let us say the point is x0, y0. And now what is the distance of this point P from O that is given by the distance formula, that is nothing but square root of x0 square plus y0 square. You know this very well. So this distance we call this is the vector r bar, right? R bar is OP bar, which I just told you. And this distance is called magnitude of the vector, mod r bar. That is nothing but the distance from the origin. So x0 square plus y0 square. So this is the first part. And now suppose you have, this is called magnitude. Suppose you have 2 points, which is A is x1, y1 and B is x2, y2. The distance formula, you know the distance formula, right? That is AB bar. AB bar vector, you know very well, that is x2 minus x1 I cap and y2 minus y1 j cap. You write this. That is the vector. Just now I told you. And now what is the modulus of a vector? Is nothing but the distance between these 2 points. So that is square root of x2 minus x1 whole square plus y2 minus y1 whole square. So this is how you find the modulus of the vector. This is called modulus of the vector. Modulus, or simply you can say magnitude of the vector. This is the magnitude of the vector. This is how we find the magnitude of a vector. Very simple. So let us say we have one vector like 3i cap plus 4j cap. Let us say this vector is there. Let's say r bar is this vector. And I want to find what is mod r bar. Mod r bar is square root of 3 square plus 4 square. That is square root of 9 plus 16. 9 plus 16 is root 25, right? Root 25 is 5 units. So modulus of the vector is 5 units. So this is how you write the modulus of a vector. So I'm summarizing the vectors, what we are going to see now in this vectors. So the next part is you have the The next one is triangle of vectors is what we see. Triangle law of vectors. So here we talk about something called a resultant of the vectors. So let us say one vector is like this. This part is called tail of the vector and this part is called head of the vector. Wherever you see the arrow mark, that is called head of the vector. And now this is another vector is like this. So I will explain what is this actually. Let us say the vector is a bar like this and the b bar is like this. Like these two vectors are there. So which means that I started from this point and I have moved to this point. Okay, this is O. Let us say this is X and this is Y. I moved from O to X and then X to Y. This is what I did. So finally, ultimately what I did was I have moved from the point O to the point Y. So this is what I did. And this is what is called resultant. So the resultant of the vector is represented as R bar. It is nothing but sum of these two vectors. So it is simply A bar plus B bar. This is what is called triangle of vectors. This is one thing. Now, this is the basic summary I want to give you. Later, we'll come across. And now the next part is, this will be discussed in detail in the next few lectures. This is the first fundamental idea I want you to know. So that is what I am representing here. And next one is angle between the vectors. Angle between vectors. So what is the angle between the vectors? Angle between the vectors is represented when the tails of the vectors are matching. So this is A bar like this, and this is B bar. When the tails of vectors are matching with each other, you can represent the angle between the vectors is like this. So when angle between the vectors only to be measured when the tails of the vectors are matching. Vectors are matching. So when this is happening, you can do that. When the tails of the vectors are matching, you can do that. You can find the angle. You should not find the angle when the head of the vector is matching with the tail of the vector. So this is not the angle. Definitely this is not the angle. Now, how to measure the angle in this case? This case is like this. So what we do if I have like this, like this one vector, this other vector. So if I have the vectors is like this, A bar and B bar, if the head and tail are matching, simply you can take this angle as 180 minus theta. How we can do that? This we can do by just translating the vector. This we'll discuss in the next due course of lectures. By translating the vector A bar here, then I can make the tail of the first vector matching with the tail of the second vector. And now that is nothing but the extension of this line. So when I do the extension, then the tail of the first vector is matching with the tail of the second vector. Then this angle becomes theta. That is the angle between the vectors. And now if it all head and tail are matching with each other, then this becomes 180 minus theta. So that is the idea I want to tell you. Now, and this further discussions will be there in the next subsequent videos. And now the another part which I wish to tell you here is that if I draw this, I told you in the earlier that this one is called the resultant of the vector R bar. That is nothing but A bar plus B bar. And the resultant of the vectors is magnitude of the resultant of the vectors, which is mod R bar. It is given by the formula A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So this is the formula to find the resultant of the vectors, where mod A bar is nothing but A. The modulus of the vector A bar is nothing but A. Modulus of B bar is nothing but B. And theta is the angle between angle between A bar and B bar. These are some of the things I wish to tell you initially before going into the vectors, and these things are discussed in much detail in the next subsequent videos. And this is a resultant of the vectors and the magnitude of the vectors I told you. And next, what we see is there are two types of products. We see three types of products. In fact, one is scalar multiplication. What is the scalar multiplication of a vector? It is very simple. Suppose I multiply a number with a vector like 2i cap plus 3j cap plus 4k cap. Suppose I multiply with the 2. This vector I multiply with 2. Each quantity you multiply with 2. So that means like 2 into 2, that is 4i cap. 2 into 3, that is 6j cap. And 2 into 4, that is 8k cap. Like this, you can do the scalar multiplication. This is called scalar multiplication of a vector. Scalar multiplication of a vector. Scalar and vector multiplication. Scalar multiplication of a vector. So this is the concept. And now vector multiplication is of two types. Okay. There is something called vector multiplication is of two kinds. One is called dot product. Another one is called cross product. Cross product. The vector can be multiplied with another vector in two ways, which is called dot product, A bar dot B bar, and a cross product, that is A bar cross B bar. These two are different. Okay, there are two kinds of vector multiplication. One is dot product and cross product, which are explained in subsequent videos. I explained the dot product, which is very, very easy, and conclude this video. So like this, A bar is 2i cap plus 3j cap plus 4k cap. Suppose this vector is there. And now B bar is minus I cap plus j cap minus k cap. Like this, another vector is there. Suppose they ask you to find the dot product between the vectors. It is given by A bar dot B bar. We'll simply multiply I coefficient with the I coefficient. So that is 2 into minus 1, minus 2, right? Here. And a j coefficient with the j coefficient. J coefficient is 3 here, here 1. So 3 into 1, that is 3. And now k coefficient into k coefficient, that is 4 into minus 1, that is minus 4. That's it. That's the answer. This is how we solve the dot product of the vectors. So 3 minus 2, that is 1. 1 minus 4, the answer is minus 3. So that's the answer. This is how we do the dot product. And the subsequent videos, this is explained further in the subsequent videos. I hope you like this video. This is what I want to summarize a little bit about the vectors, which we are going to, what are the other things which we are going to study in the vectors. This I have summarized in this video. And thank you all. Thanks for watching the video and liking the video. And thanks for your patience. And please hit a like, subscribe, and share among your friends. And I wish that you make this channel a big success. And thank you once again. Thank you all.